To make something new is a wondrous thing. It is like a tiny seed full of dreams. This seed wishes to grow tall and strong. But for a new plant to sprout, the old earth must welcome it. The soil must shift and change. Sometimes, what was there before, a wildflower or a quiet stone, must make space, must gently fade. This is the way of the world. This changing, it can feel like a loss. A part of the world disappears. Like a drawing erased from a page, to make room for new lines, new colors. Creation needs this empty space. Destruction, then, is not always an enemy. It can be a quiet helper, a soft wind that clears the path for sunlight. It is a paradox, a truth with two faces, one smiling, one perhaps a little sad. Imagine a forest after a gentle fire. The old trees are gone, turned to ash. This ash makes the soil rich again. New seeds carried by the wind find a home. Tiny green shoots push through the dark earth. They grow into a new forest, different, but just as alive, just as beautiful. The fire was an end, but also a start. This is the secret dance of the world, the rhythm of making and unmaking. Ayesha lived in a world that knew this dance. She saw it in the crumbling temples. She felt it in the shifting desert sands. Old stories whispered of things lost, and new songs celebrated things found. But this balance was becoming fragile. A great hunger seemed to grow, a veil that wanted to consume too much. This was the starving veil, a shadow that threatened to break the gentle cycle. Ayesha was once a young warrior. She moved like a quick desert fox. Her heart was brave and her eyes sharp. She saw dangers and fought them hard. If a threat appeared, she would rise. She reacted like a river pushes stone. She wanted to protect her home, her people. She did not yet understand the deeper currents, the hidden reasons why things changed, or why some things were meant to break. Her world was filled with ancient beauty, but shadows began to stretch long and dark. One shadow was a man named Dr. Varma. Another was a fearsome power, the 10th King. These were not simple monsters to fight. They brought a new kind of erasure. Ayesha felt a deep unease stirring within. Her old ways of fighting felt small. It was like trying to stop the wind with only her two hands. She saw her home changing too fast, not like the slow turning of seasons. This was a harsh, tearing change. Memories were being wiped away. The land itself seemed to cry out. Ayesha felt these cries in her own heart. It was a pain, a confusion. Was she meant to stop all change, or was there another way to be strong, a different path to walk? This was Ayesha's internal struggle. A battle fought, not with a spear, but with questions in the quiet of night. She looked at the stars, so old. She looked at the shifting dunes, always new. She began to see the paradox everywhere. To save something, did she need to let go? To build? Did she need to accept ruin? Her journey was starting, from a simple fighter to someone who might understand the veil. Dr. Varma was a man of sharp lines. His mind was like a perfect cold crystal. He believed in progress, a clean future. But his idea of clean meant wiping away. He saw the past as dust, as disorder. Old ways, old memories, old buildings, he wanted them gone, erased without a trace. He did not use fire or a sword. His erasure was quiet, methodical, and complete. A surgeon cutting away what he deemed sick. He represented a specific kind of destruction. It was not born of rage or hunger. It was born of a chilling logic. Dr. Varma thought he was creating a perfect, sterile world designed by him. But this creation fed on utter erasure. He was one side of the starving veil, the side that meticulously unmade things, leaving no room for gentle decay or for the old to nourish the new. Ayesha found his methods deeply unsettling. He did not seem to feel the loss. To him, a fallen temple was just data. An erased memory was an obstacle removed. He offered a future that felt empty, a future scrubbed clean of its own heart. This was a hard enemy for Ayesha. How do you fight an idea that is so cold? How do you protect warmth from such frost? His logic was a mirror, showing erasure as good. His actions forced Ayesha to think. What was truly valuable? What needed saving? Was it every single stone, every single story? Or was it the spirit, the ability to remember? Dr. Varma's cold hand pushed her. It made her question the nature of legacy. If everything was preserved perfectly, was there room for new life, new stories? He was a dark teacher in his own way, showing her the danger of absolute sterile control. Then there was the 10th King. This was not a man of cold plans. The 10th King was a storm, a wildfire, a force of pure, chaotic consumption. It roared with a terrible hunger. It wanted to devour everything in its path. Old, new, beautiful, ugly. It did not care. It was the other face of the starving veil. The face of insatiable appetite, of raw oblivion. A vast emptiness that longed to be filled. The 10th King's erasure was terrifying. It was loud, violent, and overwhelming. It left behind only dust and echoes. Where Dr. Varma was a scalpel, the 10th King was an earthquake. It mirrored a different aspect of destruction, the kind that sweeps away without thought, driven by a primal need to unmake. This power threatened to swallow the world whole, leaving no seeds, no soil, nothing to grow. Ayesha faced this force with a different fear. This was not an argument to be won. This was a hurricane to be weathered. The 10th King showed her raw erasure, the kind that leaves no chance for rebirth. It was the starving veil at its most desperate. It fed and fed, but was never satisfied. This made Ayesha feel small, a single reed standing against a tidal wave. Her warrior skills were tested to their limit. The 10th King, like Varma, was a mirror. It showed her the horror of endless taking. If Varma erased to build his own vision, the 10th King erased for erasure's sake. It highlighted the need for balance. Destruction could be a part of a cycle, but this was destruction that broke the cycle. It was a void, a nothingness. Ayesha knew she had to find a way, not just to fight, but to understand this hunger. Section 5. Neon Sanskrit, words of light and warning. In Ayesha's world, there was neon Sanskrit. These were ancient words, but they glowed. They shimmered with a strange new light. Found on old ruins or whispered by winds, these glowing letters were beautiful. They pulsed with a soft, ethereal energy. They seemed to hold secrets of the past. But also they flickered like a warning, a message from those who came before, about the delicate dance of time. The neon Sanskrit was a key motif. It represented creation and its echo. The words themselves were from long ago. They spoke of how things were built, how civilizations rose.